Start.
Okay, ready.
This
is not a fresh start.
You were into it for a second.
I'm always into it. You know I dance every time you sing a song. I can't help it.
Do you know that was my sister's favorite band
I'm pretty sure it still is.
growing up? I don't know. Jen, I know you listen to this podcast. You tell us if your favorite band is still Hanson.
Also, my friend Alexandra, her favorite band is I think she still went to see them
Oh, really?
in the last decade.
They still make music. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
But they all have short hair now, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
None of them have the golden
Their
locks
hair was
that they had before.
awful. Like,
Yeah.
Now it's like a thing to have long hair.
Yeah.
So they're probably been there, done that.
I loved Hanson.
You did too?
Oh my
You were a
god,
Hanson
yes,
fan?
I had chapter books
What
about all of them.
What was your favorite song on their second album?
Couldn't tell you.
Well, I bet my sis has one. She went and saw them live.
Oh, are you making fun of me because I
Yes,
like
I'm
Aqua?
making
My sister went and saw them live with all of her girlfriends, and my dad had to take all these screaming girls to
Oh
this
my
concert.
God.
I'm pretty sure he was more deaf from them and not the concert when it was all done.
Probably.
I'm still kind of impressed because Zach, who was the drummer, right? Zach?
I think
think
so.
that's his name.
Yes.
Dude, wasn't he a drummer at like 11 or 12
They were
years
kids.
old?
Like they're like the
That's
modern day Jonas Brothers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
When someone's that talented, like to be on stage at 12 years old being a drummer. I might be wrong. Maybe he was 13, but I know he was
Dude,
very, very young.
Bop is still a good song.
It's
a good song.
Doo-ba-da-ba-da-doo.
So welcome-
yeah.
Welcome to Real
interviews-
Awkward.
Oh, yeah. You guys just... I guess we haven't introduced ourselves. Who are you?
I'm Amanda Knickerbocker. Who are you?
And I'm Andy Case.
Welcome to the show.
And we, as always, we have our producer mic'd up.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo!
Yo.
Yeah, the Hanson deal
Hanson.
was huge. They were on every single magazine,
Oh, big time.
like
Oh, what was it?
Tig-
J14.
Tiger Beat.
Yeah.
What else was there? Wasn't there there was 14?
No, 17.
Oh, I thought there was one called 14.
Maybe
it
there
was
was
for
for
the-
boys. The one for girls was called 17.
14's just a bunch of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh.
I just want to say, just because you were asking about it or talking about it,
Yeah.
Zach was 6 when the
Holy
band
shit.
started.
No, he was not
He
like the
won-
real drummer at 6 years old.
He is the youngest of 3 brothers in Hanson and was 6 when the band started playing in 1992. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Also, he won a Grammy
Uh-huh.
at 12.
Probably
so he
for
was
Mbop, then.
actually the
Yeah.
drummer. I mean, it was simple songs, I'm assuming. The beats weren't gnarly, but I don't think I can play as well as Zach.
No way, dude.
even
I
on
remember
drums.
like he would be like rocking out. And I think he had braces.
Props.
Probably.
I think he had braces.
I was impressed because my sister had like an album video, a video of their concert.
Yeah.
And I watched it live with her, and Zach drops a drumstick and doesn't miss a beat. Like he loses
Damn.
a drumstick and pulls one out off of his side at the same time. And I've seen other drummers do that, but to see like a 13-year-old or
Yeah.
whatever do it and not screw up, I was like, okay, he is the real deal. Probably a prodigy. Yeah.
Well, they all played instruments really well. Like
Yeah.
they all played their instruments. I don't know.
Well, what's the eldest brother's name?
Isaac,
Isaac. That's right.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
And then
Isaac.
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Taylor. That was the one I was in
I
love
didn't
with.
know Taylor. I thought Taylor was a girl at first glance.
I remember that
But yeah.
debate
Yeah.
with their first music video. It was like, is he a boy?
Yeah,
or
you
is
just
he a
didn't
girl?
know.
Are any of them boys?
Right.
I don't quite know.
Yeah.
It doesn't
these
matter
days
now.
they fit right
yeah, I
in.
was
yeah.
gonna say now it doesn't
matter anymore.
So we hung out last night,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or you were there.
We're about to take a change of topic, everyone.
So, yeah, we've done enough Hanson for
Segue.
today.
Yeah, this is a good
If you
thing.
guys would like a Hanson only podcast, please let us know.
Let us know. I'm sure we can have Jenny on. Her and I can talk about Hanson.
There you go. Jen is gonna guest on here, and she's Hanson.
It's fine. We'll just talk about one-hit wonders or something for the day.
So we Wonderwall, was that one of them? That was a one-hit
Oasis,
wonder. Yeah. Last night we hung out, and a couple things happened.
All right.
Number one, I broke a chair.
I didn't know if you wanted to announce that to
I
the
did.
world.
So
I was going to keep that secret for
no,
you.
no.
my friend.
There's no reason to see. It's not a secret. It's really funny. Look, like from an outsider looking
Yeah.
in on what happened. So there's 4 of us surrounded on this kitchen table. It's like a one light over us on purpose because we're playing.
A mystery game that we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
So imagine mystery.
Yeah. So it's like we're in kind of a really deep part of the game.
Solving a murder.
Pretty intense. Like something crazy had just happened. And I fall 3 feet to the ground in an instant.
Crash.
And all of a sudden, everyone's just staring at me. And I pancake out on the goddamn floor. And I exploded the wooden chair that was underneath me.
Okay, so as someone who was directly across the table from you, it was like I blinked. You were eye line. I blinked. You're on the floor, and it was just
I felt like
what,
me too.
what happened?
I was just telling you that I was like, I just experienced the Tower of Terror and didn't have to pay a ticket. Like I went from having a good time to being on the floor.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you guys, I know from my perspective, I'm looking to my right and my left, and I see wooden planks and pieces all over the ground. And I'm like, what happened? But now I can go back and I can feel it start to tilt. Like now I feel like I know. Because I thought it was just
The
in my
ship
head.
is sinking.
Yes, I thought it was just in my head. And I was like, this chair, I feel like I'm just not sitting right in it.
Yeah.
You
Like,
probably wiggled around like
I
that
did,
too
I
and
did.
made it
I
work.
bet
I
you
wiggled.
did.
And this thing just like spread out like a cartoon character.
Yeah,
with
the
all 4 legs
legs
going
went
the
out from
opposite
underneath ya.
direction. Worst case scenario for me that night.
I have to be honest. I will say, I was happy that at least the person who broke the chair was the one who owned the chair.
Yeah, fair.
Because if
I
John
know,
or I had broken
you'd
the
feel
chair,
terrible.
I would have bought you a whole new set of them, and then I still would have felt bad about it. Like
Not the last chair that I broke.
you broke
No,
another one
I
today.
mean, not the.
I saw
first
you
chair.
yesterday.
I'm sorry, not the first chair.
Oh no! I was like, wait. I was like, what
and
did
then,
I miss?
And then I just.
He wanted to test them all
Yeah,
out.
then
yeah,
I just-
now I had to see the
I
other one.
WWE'd it last night, and I just broke every
Well,
chair in the house.
Because John had kind of like plopped down in a
Yeah.
few times, and I heard like a, grr, and I was just
Well,
like,
you were like lean back in that.
Yes.
Can't do that.
and I was just like,
So.
that was why I got a black chair.
yeah,
Because I
I've-
looked at
I-
it and I was just like, this ain't gonna
Any
work for
chair
me.
that has like a central point in its structure is always a bad. Now this was not. This had like supposed to 4 supportive points of the chair. I've had issues in the past with it. Not a small guy, right? Not a small
No,
guy.
I just
So yeah,
I
so
was-
that was crazy last night,
was
and I
crazy.
woke up with like sore wrists and said, "Man, I'm old now. You can't fall out of chairs anymore."
No, that's just a thing that's gonna hurt forever now.
Well, there's people that fall out of chairs, but I didn't fall out of a chair. I fell like into a
the
chair.
chair fell out from underneath you,
Yes, the
and
chair
you dropped to the
disappeared.
floor.
And everybody was just like, Andy, you okay?
I think it
Andy,
was-
is everything okay?
I think it just
and
happened
I'm just
so
like,
fast.
I'm literally like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, I was like, am I getting punked? Like, I was so.
I'm pretty sure I
out
just
of it.
stared at you,
You
for like
did.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, because all of us were, I think, we're just like, what just happened? Like, I know I was just like,
And the sound of it was like a shock. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and especially like
Measured on the Richter scale.
we're all focusing on something. It's a
Yes.
little
Oh, it
intense.
was so intense.
And then all of a sudden, like, Andy's on the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you
we're-
imagine you're looking like you're
It
just
startled me.
You're opposite your friend. You're looking at him, and now their eyes are 3 feet lower. and you
blink,
can
and
just
you're not
see,
there
You
anymore.
can just see the top of his head. Like
It was just like, and you were just like, what
I'm
happened?
looking at you guys, and I'm like, what?
What happened?
Why? Where am I? What? Oh God! So that was fun. The reason why it was so intense though is because we were playing this awesome game.
So we were playing Hunt a Killer. So if you, anyone listening, if you're like into subscription boxes, whatever, it's like a monthly murder mystery. And my husband's coworker and his wife got it, and they went through a couple boxes, and I don't know if they lost interest
Yeah,
or they just
didn't
kind
have
of
time.
did it. But they weren't interested in doing it anymore, so they gave it to us, and so it was like, well, let's try it.
Right.
So far, I really love it. This is not sponsored or anything.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
will say
we
we
did-
did
yeah.
not pay for this.
Right. This was a
It was
freebie.
a freebie from my husband's coworker, but like, so thanks to that guy. I think it's really cool.
So this thing is interesting how it works. So this particular game that we were playing, you get 1 box a month, and each box that you open up gives you clues to solving this murder investigation.
Yes.
But the reason why I liked it is I was really impressed with the production value
Oh, for real.
of this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spoil it because I'm assuming it's the same thing if people play it.
But I'm assuming this box is at least it's a year old.
Right.
So I don't think you can buy these anymore, but Ashley was looking online and you can buy the box. You can buy like the whole set, so I don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
But basically a murder happens, and in this one you are working with a private investigator who's trying to put the pieces together to solve this case.
You
And-
are the private investigator.
Yes, but
right? Yeah.
the private investigator like used to know the dead guy.
Right.
So
right.
she's asking you for help. So every month, essentially, this private investigator is sending you more information.
Yeah, clues and
So in the first box is like, it's thin, but it's many pages.
yeah.
There was like a full color yearbook,
Yeah,
there
that
was
was
this
awesome.
huge town map that was all color. Like we had to put it out over your kitchen island because it was too big for
Yeah,
the table.
it was giant.
There was there's like a manila envelope with like police documents inside.
Yeah,
and
like an interview
an
and
affidavit,
an
a crime report, witness statements.
Yeah, and they're actually like on like pegs too, like
Yeah,
the,
it's like
hole
legal
punched,
brads.
what are they called?
Brads.
Brads.
It's cool. And then as you go through more, another one, there's like you get they send you the evidence. So like the evidence that's collected at the scene, you get certain things, so you get to like examine the evidence for yourself.
And they're legitimate. They're not just like
They're not fake
toys.
No, like one of the things that we got was like it was like a pair of socks, and you get like a legit pair of socks. Like I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
Um,
and a cozy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a beer koozie.
And a class ring, which you wore the entire time.
Hey, it fit. Okay,
But the thing is it
I kind of
What-
liked it.
what Ash was saying is the production value of this thing is deeper than I've ever seen another game go.
Oh, for sure.
So we've played other
Escape rooms.
games that were close. They weren't murder, but we've also done murder mysteries too.
Yes, we have.
But in general, the production value of that stuff is a lot of times like, here's your character, here's a couple things that you say, everything else is just on you, right?
Or like
at a
here's-
murder mystery party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or even like the escape room ones we've done. It's like here's like a printed picture of what you need to be looking for or looking at.
Right.
But like it's kind of cool
And
to have
then like a decoder.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to have an actual like tactile thing of like this is the ring that was found. This is the socks that was found. Like
Yeah, for you to be able to look at it.
yeah.
And it comes with a black light.
yeah.
So you're actually like checking all of these real real items that were part of this fictional world, and all of a sudden you end up being immersed. Now, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a section where you get to hear a 911 phone call.
Oh yeah, so this whole thing. Okay, so not only do you
COVID.
get don't say that. Not only do you get all of these like physical copies of police files, like your private investigator boss lady gives you access to like a digital file folder,
Yeah.
and you have like emails that got sent back and forth, and you get to see text messages.
Yeah.
And then you have like disciplinary files for things, or and then one of the things that we did here was the 911 tape of the person who found our dead person, and that was kind of crazy. Like,
Right.
and
right.
they have obviously paid actors or the people who
Right.
do the thing did the 911 tape, and that was kind of crazy to hear that.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, like, what else are we gonna get to see?
Right. I mean,
'Cause-
if the production value out of only box 2
Yeah.
has gone this far, there's got to be some really cool things that you find, and how many swerves are in it.
Oh,
too,
totally.
right? Because right now we all feel like we're on track to go
Yeah.
somewhere.
Something's gonna get crazy.
So I'm curious. is there other companies that do this exact same thing?
I would be curious. Though I will say, and again, like not sponsored. We
Yeah.
literally have nothing to do with Hunt a Killer.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I would totally do another one of these. We're only at box 2 out of I think 5.
Right.
I'm already like, let's do another one.
My only issue is that when you do this, we lucked out because we got all of it all at
Yes.
once. If you have to do the monthly subscription,
Mm-hmm.
you have an hour, 2 hours worth of gameplay. Then you wait 30 days.
Yeah.
And if you're really deep into detective mode, so you're Batman, right?
Yeah, right.
And you're like, I figured this out. I got this. All of a sudden, you have to wait it out. So if you've ever played like Dungeons and Dragons or like played any type of big campaign or
Yeah.
even a video game,
Yeah.
and you come back to it a month later,
You're like, where was
you're-
I?
You're lost. You don't know how the buttons work, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how the moves work. And it's kind of the same thing. Like you lose your chops.
Yeah.
So I feel like the best way to play this is in a kind of a tight time frame
Yeah.
because you want to what is it? First 48, is that what it's called? That's how you're supposed to solve it.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I would say follow that rule. Try to
Yeah,
solve it in the
solve
first.
48 hours.
Yeah,
out of
just
the day.
take 48 hours out of your days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
that's
say
fine.
this game, and we have not completed it yet, but I'm assuming it's anywhere from 5 to 7 hours.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
assuming.
we went through 2 boxes and we were playing it for about 2 to 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we get another 2.5 hours out of it, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
And I would feel like, okay, 5-ish hours, I would be. I mean, obviously, we'll have to see how this all ends out.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
we
we- yeah.
still feel the same at the end.
Yeah, at box
But-
number 5, we're like, man, that really trailed
If
off.
that really peters out.
yeah, that's like
But
the end of Game of Thrones.
as of as
It's
of
all
right
pissed off,
now,
yeah.
I would totally be willing to get a whole new campaign.
Yeah.
But my main complaint is you do have to wait every month, where I wouldn't want to do that. I don't
No.
want to like solve
Yeah.
part of a mystery once a month. That I don't like. But Ashley actually found out if you go to their website, you can buy an entire campaign,
Yeah.
but it's not cheap.
Right.
And truthfully, each month of Hunt a Killer is a little pricey.
You have to assume you're experiencing this with a group of people.
Sure.
Because if you guys all threw in, then you'd be fine.
Yeah.
You'd be fine. But if it was just like a couple, just like a guy and a gal,
But I mean, you know what?
or a guy and a pal,
I mean,
whatever, in that situation, I think it's way too expensive
But,
for
okay,
2 people to be solving.
Hear
right?
me out. So
Yeah.
if we were looking at them,
Yeah.
about 100 to 125 bucks if you want to buy
Yeah.
the campaign outright. Well, okay, think about it this way. You go to dinner, you go to a movie, and you buy snacks at the movie.
Yeah.
How much did you spend that evening? $100?
Oh, you're probably to $100 for sure.
Right,
So it's
and-
like date night.
Sure.
Also,
But-
if you think about it, a lot of like the escape rooms that we do,
Yeah.
like as a group, we pay what, like $15 for them,
Yeah.
and we get an hour out of it.
Roughly. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
you're
so
right.
I know-
You're right.
So, on the topic of escape rooms, I've only done 2. One I did with you guys a long time ago, and we got a
Right.
Groupon for it.
Well, I mean the boxes that we do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, true. I know that when I've done a physical escape room,
That's
I
more
think
expensive.
the first one was like $40.
Yeah, escape
And this was a
rooms-
long time ago. But then we did Immersion in Washington. There's a couple places they're called Immersion. They're actually really cool. Check them out. It was like $200 and something for 6 of us. So
Yeah, that's pricey.
yeah.
I mean, but
But
it's
it's
an
way more immersive.
well, it's an
Oh,
experience.
100%.
So on the topic of escape rooms,
Yes.
So number one, I would like to know if there's other companies that make this same format that we
Hunt a
played
Killer
last
thing.
night.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Hunt a Killer, right? That's what it's called.
Hunt a Killer. I
Hunt a
believe so.
Killer.
Yeah.
The escape rooms, though, these are so cool.
Oh yeah.
So I have not gone to this one, but apparently there's one that's close to us off the islands, and
Yeah.
it is like Harry Potter themed.
Oh, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, so you've got things where you walk into this room and you're instantly transported into whatever film, world, fantasy, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's very, very cool for you to all of a sudden feel like you are truly trapped in this room.
You're like, I gotta get the fuck out
And
of
you're
here.
like, how do I get out of here? And you can't do it with just 2. So we can sit down on a game at a table and probably
Sure.
play it with 2. But like you've got to have like 4 to 8 people
Yeah.
because everybody's got to be doing things in the room to get out at the
in
same time.
60 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were the one that we did. My coworkers and I did it. You like went through traveled through time, and so like each room you unlocked. So you unlocked like different rooms,
Right.
and as you moved through, you went through different time periods.
That's kind of cool.
One of
I
the
like that.
time periods you went to, you walked into Sherlock Holmes's study
Nice.
back like way back when, and it was really cool because like first you're kind of in like this lab looking thing, and then like the door opens and now you're in this kind of quiet like study. There's pictures on the wall, and there's like
But it's Sherlock. You can tell it's Sherlock. Yeah.
it's Sherlock Holmes.
That's awesome.
And then like you find something in his jacket, and like it was like, okay, that's really cool.
And was this immersion?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
And then
Yeah.
you end up unlocking into your next room, which it sends you to a different time period. You unlock his wardrobe, but then you end up unlocking the different time period. You go through the wardrobe into the
Just
new
like
time.
Narnia.
But it was cool because
Yeah.
you're like, wait,
Yeah.
did this where did that unlock it? And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, the
That's-
wardrobe.
That's pretty epic.
It was really cool. So, I think we should do immersion because they have a ton of different rooms. They have like a creepy doll room where I guess like
See, I think
don't know, it sounds
some
cool.
people's fears like makes an escape room feel like it's not just mystery, but like in the horror genre a little bit or suspense.
well, there's a horror movie called Escape Room.
Well, yeah, but that's where people are getting killed. Like this
Yeah.
one though, it depends on the room, but I know we played one where you're going to get gassed in the room if you don't get out.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And so you're like, "Oh no, what happens?"
Get me out of here.
Yeah, and then so you find out like you're sitting in front of this bomb that's like in the room in this treasure chest that you had to open up and stuff. So
Cool.
Yeah, and like things
yeah.
get faster as it gets closer to the end, or like if you're doing things wrong, like noises get faster, and so it like gives you like that anticipation of like I gotta get out.
yeah, some escape rooms they are very touch everything, play
Yeah.
with everything. Others are just like whatever's pinned to the wall is not part of the room. So it's like it depends
Yes.
on what it is because some of them like a picture opens up or you turn the picture around.
Yes, that
and
was
it
the
has
one that I
something there.
did.
Some of them too are like there's two different kinds. Like there's linear escape rooms where like you have to like figure out puzzle 1 before you can do puzzle 2, and you have to
Yes.
do puzzle 2 before you do puzzle 3. And then there's others where like you can be doing multiple things at one time, and then it all like comes together,
That was the one that I
which
did
is cool.
was, and that was really difficult. Truthfully, it was difficult because there was a ton of us, and everybody's working on something different. And it was loud, so it was very difficult to communicate. But then you're in vastly different areas, so it's hard because you can't holler back and forth and have someone hear you.
How many people
This
were
place
there?
was big,
How many people were in yours?
6 or 7.
So you
6 or
can't
7
talk
of
to
us.
each other very well.
It was hard, but if the 4 of us did
Yeah.
it, we'd just be yelling back and forth at each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was
Interesting.
fun. I thought it was really
See,
fun.
we were stuck in a room where we could all pretty much talk to one another in most of the ones we've done so far. I would say the first one that we did, which we did with for Sam's birthday.
Yes.
Ninja escape.
Yeah. That one had some cool stuff towards the end,
Yeah.
but also it played a lot with like you looked out the window and you had to do stuff.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
So it's like that one was cool because then like you're kind of interacting with the environment out there.
Yeah.
But that stuff had like a lot of math problems and things like that.
There
in
was
it
a lot
too,
of math.
right?
That
like
one
you had to like
also-
build a formula or something like that. in
That
the
one
computer.
also, if I remember correctly,
interesting.
there was a couple people that we didn't know. They weren't in our party that they all put us together.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard if you don't know someone, be like, "Hey, can you give me that?"
Right.
like-
Or they found a clue and never told anyone.
Right.
That's
and
the worst
so
part, 'cause you
at
don't
least if you
communicate.
know each other, you can be like, "Give me that thing. Where was that?"
Have you
Where
ever
was that?"
seen Impractical Jokers where he does an escape room? Okay,
No.
so I don't remember who it is. I think it's Sal. Do you know the Impractical Jokers?
There's like the 4 buddies.
Yeah.
Who
So-
shit on each other all the time.
So
Okay.
what happens is if they all play competitions on their TV show, and if you lose, then you have to go do something
Yes, something stupid.
humiliating or
Yeah.
whatever. So Sal had to go into an escape room where they're all locked, and he had to piss himself. But then he had to pretend or get closer and closer to everybody as they're working together to solve a puzzle.
Oh my god.
And he smells like urine. Like it was
That's
so I know.
awful.
And you have all these people like trying to step back away from him. He's like, no, I want to help you guys solve this puzzle. Because he starts it and he goes, guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. And they're like, no, you you're stuck in here. And he's like, I gotta go. And then he just goes. And then they're stuck in this escape room together.
Oh my God, that's awful.
And it was just like, because they were like, that's your punishment. You have to wet yourself and then continue to do the escape
Oh
room.
my God.
Yeah. So these guys, like, they don't pull punches on stuff. And they just had a movie that came out.
Yeah, which I think is weird because that show has been on TV forever.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting
little late.
sometimes when that stuff gets greenlit. But maybe
but-
they pushed it.
Maybe. But so the other thing that we have done is like the at-home escape rooms, like the four of us.
Right. So the experience at home.
Yeah. So the ones we've done two different brands. The two different brands being Escape Room the game, I think, or Escape the game,
Yeah.
and then
I think it's called Escape Room.
Exit
Yes.
escape rooms.
Yep. Those are the two.
So basically, they both are the kind of the same idea. You have 60 minutes to solve a number of puzzles and clues, whatever. You have a goal,
Right.
get out of the room or stop a bomb from going off.
Yeah, there's a
or
backstory
whatever.
though of what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Escape Room the game comes with like a decoder box.
Yeah,
and
it is
there's
also
a lot
a
of
timer.
ciphers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Exit, they're
comes
all
with-
like one-time use games.
Exit is. I think
Well,
escape
even
room
escape-
you don't have to cut anything or break anything.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, but like
you wouldn't play it again, but you could give it to a friend
True,
and they could.
true.
But you couldn't do that with Exit.
no, Exit. So Exit is what I prefer personally.
I agree.
Okay. They sit right around $10 or $12. Like
They're
you
not
can
only
buy.
you can get them at Target.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazon too.
Mhm.
And you open it up and everything you need is in the box, and you they utilize like there's usually a decoder, like a ring decoder thing where you have to spin stuff around, and you like sometimes you have to like put the box together in a certain way or cut the box apart or cut things apart, and I think it's really cool
Yeah.
that they utilize everything.
I was really surprised. It's a little box. I mean, it's probably what 6 inches by 4 inches.
It would hold 2 decks of cards.
right,
like-
pretty much is what you would get out of
Yeah.
it. So you don't think you're going to have that great of experience out of that box.
Yeah, you're looking at $10.
but it
Like,
kind of brings you in, and the puzzles are really cool.
Yes.
and pretty difficult sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
On Exit, but challenging where you feel satisfied. Escape Room leaves some to like imagination.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when we did the Escape Room, I liked it for a couple different reasons. I liked that there's this timer, so you know like what you have and you know when to pull your clues out.
And like this timer is the size of like of a loaf of bread.
yeah,
Like
it's pretty
it's
big.
not particularly long, but
Right.
like it is maybe 6 inches by 8 inches. Like it's
But I like that in that one you have to put keys
yes.
in to turn the timer to finally turn the timer off. But
Yes.
each key, if you put them in right, it gives you a ding and you move on. With Exit though, you flip over a card and it gives you like a thumbs up.
a yes or no.
Yeah, like a check mark, or I forget
Yeah.
what it is. Or like a big X
yes.
if you're the wrong way. But once it gets to the puzzle solving and kind of the story and the ways that you utilize the materials,
yeah.
Exit is a much better game.
The
It's a much better game.
I feel like just from like an immersive story, Exit has such good stories. The way that everything is written.
Yeah.
And in every game you get like a little pamphlet that like you can utilize and you have to fold it or cut it out or blah blah blah. Just like the things they give you and the way that
Yeah.
everything is written, I feel like is so much more immersive and satisfying, like story wise, than Escape Room the game or whatever it's called.
I think you have to think outside of the box a little bit more with Exit. It's not
Yes.
as like
No pun intended.
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's within the box in Escape Room, but
Yeah.
not everything's within the box in Exit.
Well, and
Yeah.
you know it's funny because we had done a few of the exits.
yeah.
And then, so we're so used to having to be like, okay, maybe we flip the box over. Read the
Yeah,
barcode on the
right.
box. Does the box have a code on it? So then we were doing the escape room. There isn't really anything behind closed doors. Everything's right here. Like,
Yeah.
and so we're so used to being like, do we need to break the box open? Like, what do we do? That we
We just take
actually-
a hammer to the
we
timer.
were actually
and
making it too hard on
we-
ourselves.
Yeah, we were.
And I know that sounds like, but like we were so
Exit.
used to the game being harder
Yeah.
that
We didn't
actually,
think of the most obvious.
Yeah, we didn't do as well because
Yeah, we actually failed the very first time we did it
we were overthinking the clues.
because we didn't go back and read from the first section of clues when we were supposed to. We
Yeah.
thought you push that aside, move to the next thing.
well because
Because that's kind of how Exit was.
well, but
When
some
you're done
of it
with those items.
they didn't
right?
say. I don't think they I don't remember.
We
But I
probably
feel
didn't
like
read
there
it.
wasn't an emphasis on like you might have to go back to things.
We just thought we were hot shots. That's why.
Oh, totally.
We were like, we've done a
Um,
couple exits. We can do this.
we know we can escape
We
anything.
screwed it up. But
Um,
I would say if you were gonna grade them, like
Yes.
Exit's an A,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like Escape Room's like a B.
Uh,
You put it a C?
at least.
Really?
Do you remember the Jumanji debacle? So we found
Yeah.
an escape room the game version.
The
It was
Jumanji
Jumanji.
debacle of
And so hell yeah,
2020.
we bought it cuz I love Jumanji. And so basically like the idea is like you're in the jungle, you're trying to get out. And so part of this one thing they have you do is you set up you have to figure out where these mountains are, and then you have to figure out where to put, if you've seen Jumanji, you have to figure out where to put your green gem to finish the game. And
Right.
that is the last step of like how you beat the game is you have
Oh,
to put the
that-
gem in
that
the
was a-
right mountain,
It's a
okay?
really dumb puzzle.
So they have you
Spoiler
don't-
alert.
I'm not I mean
yeah.
it's going to be really confusing.
Yeah.
But basically, they don't tell you specifically what to do. But essentially, you're supposed to shine like a light, so like your flashlight or a cell phone, through the gem to create a certain color shadow.
Right.
Well, shadows are gray.
Right. yes.
And-
yeah.
According to them,
Yeah.
the shadow will be pink.
And I call bullshit on that one.
No, we
There's no
tried
way
it a
you would've-
million different times.
Yeah.
The shadow's gray.
Yeah.
And I looked it up online, and the one that they had of like can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Here's the answer.
Yeah. Hint page.
It was obviously photoshopped.
Yeah. They made it look more pink.
It was like a hot pink
Yeah,
shadow,
it was bullshit.
and I'm like, this is impossible. Like this is not possible.
But those types of mistakes with the production, it makes you not want to go back.
Correct. To me,
Yeah.
the people who make the exit games, they have people play them.
They've been quality tested.
100%. There's
Mother
quality
approved.
test, but
Kicks.
I feel like the escape room games, they are not quality tested. I think,
Right.
or they're quality tested by the people who know how to play it or know what the
Yeah,
answers
like,
are.
oh, people totally get that. No problem.
Yeah,
no
that
problem,
works. I feel like the exit people, and I don't know this, but I
Yeah.
feel like the exit people like have random people play these and like, can you figure this out? Like,
Yeah, and we haven't. Those are the only two we've played. There's probably more out there.
I know one thing I want to do. I know that there is an escape room like puzzle, and so my boss does them, and it's like a mystery that you're figuring out as you're putting this puzzle together. But she told me,
Like a traditional puzzle, just
yeah,
oh,
but
okay.
the picture on the box is not the puzzle.
Oh, I see. Which that's a hard. That's
So-
always hard.
I want to do one,
Yeah.
and I've seen them on Amazon, so I'm gonna buy one. But
I think this immersion thing that was created over the last. What are we looking at now? Almost a decade, right? Probably a decade of escape rooms kind of starting.
I would say 10 years.
You think 2010, or maybe a little bit
Eight-
at later,
maybe eight
I
eight.
think a little
years.
bit later.
But
yeah.
like, it's funny to think about something like that. Like never existed. Like no one ever thought. Like, hey,
It
let's make a
wasn't-
business
it wasn't
out of
like the
trapping
thing
people
to
in a
do.
room.
Yeah.
They have to pay us money. We're gonna trap them in the room, and then they have to get out.
Yeah.
So, it's just a really cool way to build these worlds.
I think they're fun.
Yeah, I mean, I love when we play it together at a kitchen table. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time. But like once you actually do a real escape room where you're in it,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it becomes really, really cool. Anytime something is immersive.
Yeah, well, and it's a lot more like stressful, and there's like physical things to interact with, and
Yeah.
like, oh, I found this thing. Check it out.
Well, we did one in Olympia.
yeah.
And that one actually had a section where you picked up the telephone and like listened to messages and
Oh,
stuff
that's
like
cool.
that. Yeah. And if you, spoiler alert, sorry, I actually signed something that said I'm not supposed to talk about this. So the phone, there's other things that you can do with it though. So like I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just saying like the thought processes just go really far on some of these people that create these escape rooms. Like they're
Yeah,
intense.
because they like explained afterwards like all these nuances that
Yeah.
you didn't even notice while you were doing it, but it was like, oh,
Yeah, as we solved one
Like, that's
thing,
so
they're like,
cool
well,
how
if you
deep
would have
this
done
goes.
this, you could have found it out easier, you know?
Oh.
So they walked you through all these other ways to solve it. So it wasn't just one way to solve some of these puzzles. So,
See, I like that. I
yeah.
like when a game gives you like the solution.
Right.
like-
right.
And even Exit, if you get it wrong, they kind of have like an epilogue. Like there
Right,
is kind of
right.
like a, well, this thing and this thing and this thing. Like, and that's the thing I don't care for about Escape
Sure.
Room. It ends. There is no epilogue at all.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you do
yeah.
the last little key
Right.
things, okay, I guess we're done.
It's-
do-do-do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Jumanji.
I
Like,
think
you're
that's
done.
I think that's what kind of takes you back out of it. It's like you win it and you get like a little you get a song for
Yeah.
you.
And
And yeah, there's no
Exit just gives
conclusion.
you a little 3 sentence. I mean, all you need is a couple sentences, right?
yeah.
Exit gives you just a little thing about like you escape into the night, whatever, and you're like, oh, we did it, guys.
I would say, you know, board games have gained in popularity too, with a lot of people hanging out. You know, doing a board game on your table. But I strongly recommend that people do something like this. I feel like it's way more interactive, and you'll get into fights, which is the best thing.
Oh yeah, my
Yeah.
husband and I fight all
Yeah,
the time.
Things get heated.
Oh, yeah.
Heated. I remember one of the first ones I played. I was frustrated because I couldn't see certain documents.
Oh, we still hear about
there
it.
was there was other ones. You know, our friend John, he's the guy that like takes everything from you first.
Yes.
So like right when you get it, he's like, I need to see that. I'm the most important person here.
Yes.
And like he'll look at it first, and everyone's like, okay, well, I guess we'll
But
wait
I
until
feel
he's
like
done.
the four
So
of
it's
us
kind
have
of-
now kind of figured out a routine.
That's it. We're like
all
a
have our
mystery.
roles.
We're
Yes.
literally Scooby Doo, and each one of us is a certain
Yeah.
individual.
Ashley reads everything.
Yes.
Like I write everything down.
Yep.
Like you usually have like when we do Exit, you usually have the decoder.
Do I on Exit?
I feel like
No, on Escape Room I have the decoder.
yeah, on Escape Room you had the box.
Yeah. On
But-
Exit, oh maybe I did do the decoder.
Maybe I don't know.
I
and
don't
then,
remember.
And then John's usually the one like pulling all the pieces apart. Like
Yeah, John rips a lot of the pieces. John likes to have scissors in his hand at all times.
yeah, yeah.
I think we have gotten to a point where we're like a well-oiled machine.
Oh yeah.
When we work on it now,
We're like
Yeah.
4 out of 5 stars.
Because I think the last one
Yeah.
we did was like a 2, and we're
Yeah,
like,
we
no
like, done.
problem.
Oh yeah, in the two, what was it? The buried the sunken underwater sea one.
Yeah.
which was actually really cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was like 2 out of 5 difficulty. But I like the Exit games because you kind of know, you have a good idea of what you're getting before you even open it. Because like the categories are very specific of
Yeah.
like this one is like the Pharaoh's tomb. This one is like underwater sea caves or
Yeah,
whatever.
this one is a train.
Um, I really liked. We did the Orient Express
Yeah,
one.
we
That
did.
one was really fun, and I really liked the Pharaoh's Tomb one.
I think John and I really like the one with the knight in it too.
Oh yeah,
I forget what that one was.
You were
but-
stuck in like a castle or something. That
Mhm.
one was cool.
So
They've all been cool.
Anyway, I would say if you traditionally invite people over and you guys play games and you're just playing some dice or whatever, like try that. Like try one of the
Yeah.
Exit or Escape. Pass on Escape Room, but
S-
you can you can
Spend
do
the
it.
$12
Yeah.
and get an
Get-
Exit.
get an Exit game.
I think
Mhm.
they're super fun.
If you haven't done an Escape Room before, Exit's a good way to like dip
Try
your
it.
toes into it and see if you
Well,
would like to do an
When you're not
actual-
spending $80.
right.
And if you don't, and I will say the one thing that does suck about Exit, which I get it,
Oh, that the game's done.
you cut stuff apart.
Yeah.
You rip the box
you
apart.
cannot replay it.
It is a one and done thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess I feel like, okay, for 10 or $12, especially we do it, the 4 of us, and
Right.
it's an hour, and then we
Right.
usually talk about it for half an hour afterwards. Like, that's our evening. Like,
They were really smart though. Think about this. Escape Room, not as much. You could hand that to your friend and be like, "Hey, you guys play. You guys
Yeah.
try." If you didn't
fuck
mark
anything
things up,
Yeah.
we're very like marker pin on stuff. But with Exit, we throw that game away when we're done.
Yes.
And when we talk to our friends, we might not recall everything.
Right.
So it's a good way for them to keep their games a secret,
Yeah.
at least as close as they can. But same thing, it's the reason why you sign like a do not disclose the secrets
Yeah.
of the room when you go into an escape room, because it ruins like their ability to resell. If
Yeah.
someone goes in there and knows how to beat it or knows what's going
Knows
on,
the secret.
it's not as fun
Yeah.
for them, and it really ruins the experience. So I would really like to do another one. So
we
once
should.
we're allowed to get out of
Just
our
not
houses,
soon because
Yeah.
we'd be 6 feet apart.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we should do immersion once everybody's
would you
back to
ever
business.
try to create your own? I mean, can you imagine the level of detail
I-
involved in
I don't
doing
think I
that?
would have fun. I think I would have fun for a little bit, but then I'd be like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'd like to solve
Yeah.
puzzles. I don't necessarily want to make a puzzle.
create? Well, the amount of brain power to see how deep they go with some of these designs
Yeah.
is amazing. Exits out of Norway. Where was it?
I think it's
Somewhere,
Germany.
Was it Germany?
yeah, somewhere
I think so.
Europe.
It's just impressive. It's a small little box of fun, and you will enjoy it. This should be sponsored by Exit, but it's not.
Probably not. They're cool though.
Exit, give us a call.
Play those games, man.
Did you enjoy murder mystery parties when we had those?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we only did what, two?
I think we did
Two or three. 'Cause we did the superhero one, and then we did the Halloween one, and then we did the Mardi Gras one. We did
Yeah.
three.
Yeah. Did you
I thought those were fun.
like them?
I have a hard time like letting go and like acting.
Yeah. See, that one's
Um,
hard when you're supposed to be a character.
And it's also hard because like I want to solve the freaking murder.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, give me the information. Like, what do you know? And then you
Tell
get people.
me what to do right now.
Yeah. You get people who are like, I don't know. And I'm just like, you're not helping this process.
Or the person that has information and they don't give it up
It-
properly.
yes.
The problem is with murder mysteries where you're just given a character and you find out whether you're supposed to die or you're the killer or whatever.
Yeah.
People don't know how to either play it off, act toothy. Like, I feel like you instantly either know, well, you're obviously not the murderer because you're asking way too many dumb questions, right?
Yeah.
Or,
And well, then it's hard because you're with friends,
Right,
hypothetically.
right.
Oh, I've actually done another murder mystery. You're with friends, hypothetically, but then it's like sometimes it's hard to like be with your friends and then like, I'm going to pretend to be somebody else. And then you got to tell me information. Well, John took me to a murder mystery dinner for my birthday one year at the Old Spaghetti Factory. And
Ooh.
which I love Old Spaghetti Factory, so I was like, double.
Meatballs.
But that one was fun because it was like the roaring 20s and
yeah.
but it was kind of nice that like you're kind of like watching not almost a play,
Sure.
but then
Yep.
you know who's dead and you have a cast of suspects
Yep.
that you have to go ask other like tables, I guess. But it's like I'm not interrogating my friends. I'm
Right.
not like pretending to be a part.
Ash and I
we-
did something similar.
Yeah, we did one on like a
Argosy.
Argosy cruise.
Sure.
But it wasn't like you didn't have to go ask anybody anything. It was literally like you're watching a play and then just like deciding on your
Yeah,
own.
they gave you like, here's a checklist of the people you think did it after watching this thing
Uh-huh.
unfold. It was like a detective. It was
Yeah.
like, everyone at the party, there's been a murder.
Yeah.
And then like kind of we're supposed to try to help the detective solve it. So it was like,
It was a little bit hokey.
It was
and
really
you felt like you
hokey,
weren't
yeah.
like as involved because
Yeah.
I think we had already done like murder mysteries at home at that point.
Yeah.
So we're
That
like,
would
this
be-
is just you're just watching it happen. You're not like really.
well, I know the one that we did at home, somebody had to go into the bathroom and find out they were
It
the one dying or something like that.
I know the very first one we did, which
Yeah.
was the superhero one for Ash's
Yeah.
birthday. I died.
Right.
I had to. I think it was me. I went
Yeah.
into the bathroom
Yep.
where we had hidden like makeup,
Yep.
and I had to like put makeup on my
Yeah.
face and like be dead.
That's kind of cool though.
But it was also hard to be like,
I'm gonna
okay,
go to the bathroom for a
turn
while.
out the lights,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna find me dead. Like
Yeah.
that was hard. But
I
that one was
hosted
fun.
one where I didn't have enough players, so I had to like add one in, and it messed things up.
What one are you talking about?
That's where I was the jester. It was the Mardi Gras. I was the jester.
And you had nothing to do.
I had nothing to do.
He was just like the host.
I was just the host, and a lot of people thought
Oh.
I was part of it. So it was like it threw people off.
Well, and then
Oh.
the one we did for Halloween, it was like we gave out all the roles, and then we had more people who wanted to come. So we're just like, yeah, here's a role, and it's
Yeah.
like obviously that person doesn't have any like integral part in the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And they do it on purpose that way, just so you can include people. But it sucks when you don't have an active piece in what's going on.
Well, but
Yeah.
then those people, I remember the Halloween one. Some people who obviously didn't have a real role were making things up.
Oh, sure.
And it was like-
Yeah. You're like, come on. Yeah. So I think
That's
it's,
not the evidence that I have.
I think it's hard when you are trying to do it yourself.
oh, sure.
But what do you do, man, when you're like with a group, especially if you've had people that have all done it before and they're really into it. So unfortunately, we didn't have like Reed and Emmy back then, but they would have like Reed, somebody who would have been like, I'm into this fucking character right
Yeah.
now, right? Reed would
They
have
would have come prepared.
Yeah, Reed would be like, hello, sir.
he would have a whole backstory.
I'm Mr. Sprinkles or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he would have just rocked it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's
and then
hard.
John commits.
Yeah, it's hard.
But,
But
I,
it's hard.
can't-
to
I have a
keep-
hard time with that.
It's hard to get people to, and I'm not saying no one's done a bad job.
No.
It's just like expectations, right? It's just
Sure.
hard for you to not know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And not know, like, am I towing the line? Am I supposed
Or
to be sleuthy?
there
Or-
was
yeah.
You just have to jump in. Like
Yeah.
you have to have both
Yeah.
feet in.
There are times where it's like, okay, can we like pause for a second on the game and like talk as people
yeah,
for
we
a minute?
actually know
like,
what's going on. And Ashley would be like, oh, no.
Well, I remember at the Halloween one, you were like the Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah,
and like
I
You
was.
didn't talk.
no,
I thought I wasn't allowed to.
when
or
you would
something.
talk, you were sad. So,
Oh,
so it was
yeah.
like,
Oh, that's right. I think it told me, you was like, you're
nobody loves
Yeah,
me.
it said something like, I'm melancholy and mopey.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really sad character. So I was like,
Mine
I
was
don't
supposed to be.
know. Yeah.
I was the Bride of Frankenstein, but my character was supposed to be like a valley girl
See,
kind of
it's
thing.
weird.
And I was like,
I-
that's not me. I
I'm
can't. That's not me.
Pretty sure I got that one online. I apologize.
That was
for
fun. That one
Yeah.
was fun.
It was a good
I solved
time.
the murder.
It was a good time.
Actually, the ones we got online, the Halloween one and
Yeah.
the superhero one were both from online, and they
Oh,
were
right,
great.
right.
Mhm.
The Mardi
Yep.
Gras one came in a box.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that one was a little
It was strange.
more difficult
It
to
was
strange. It was
figure
a
out
little
how it was supposed to be
confusing.
played.
Yeah.
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 I would like to really do one though, where I'm like, like stamping with wax letters, and I
yeah.
send it to everybody's house.
Well,
and
you
I'm like,
guys made
"Come
invitations for the
here."
Halloween one.
Yeah, but now Ash and I probably have a house that's pretty good for it if we did it right this
Yeah.
time. So anyway, yeah, man, that was the escape rooms, murder mysteries, that type of stuff. I've had a blast.
That's
with
my
them.
jam.
I think they've been a good time, like
Heck
really
yeah.
fun. And if you haven't done it, do it.
Dude, try
Like,
them.
give
They're
it,
so
give it a shot.
fun.
Mhm.
They're so fun.
Wrapping it up, Amanda, where can people find us?
Real Awkward Podcast on Instagram. We are also now on Stitcher, along with Google Podcasts and Spotify.
Ooh,
I'm waiting to be
branching out.
approved on iTunes.
sorry guys, it's Apple.
Um,
You understand?
Sorry, I'm just waiting to be approved
Yep.
at this point.
Yep.
But we're online.
Yep.
Obviously, we have the YouTube channel where
Yep.
we're uploading everything as well. Where can people find you?
If you guys want more content around video games, retro stuff, you can find me at Pac-Man Case on Instagram and YouTube. But just keep rocking and rolling with the Real Awkward. We love it.
Yeah.
We
All
love
right.
it.
Well, thanks for listening.
As always,
Goodbye.
bye.